But how do you approach that aspect of just not knowing and figure it out? What is that? How do you decode that to be able to break it down to various small tasks so it becomes
Yeah.
easier to
You know,
solve?
I mean, I certainly leverage a lot of what I call my software architecture experience. Where part of it is taking a large problem and trying to map the space first of all, starting with a lot of curiosity and a willingness to be patient about understanding the space and gaining the empathy you need to have with customers or partners, etc., so that you really in your bones deeply get what it is you're trying to solve. Because I think it isn't talked about enough is that empathy is the thing that allows you to build great solutions, is when you
Yeah.
can really truly feel like the customer or the partner, and understand like how you want to design a system to appropriately meet their both expressed and unexpressed needs. So for me, one of the great things about SyncFloor is that I have all this deep experience on the technology side and the technology business side from Microsoft, and then I spent years on the label side, so I really got to understand the music business and the independent sector and things like that. So that in putting those things together, I was coming from a really deep position of knowledge and empathy, to go do the rest. And that's not to say you don't still have to learn a lot of stuff, but that's an incredibly helpful foundation to start from.
Right. But so when you talk about empathy in that context, so let's say there's a problem. I mean,
Mhm,
doesn't matter if it's the label or Microsoft days, but
mhm.
what are the questions you then ask yourself to gain more empathy or find out the correct empathy thing to look into? Or you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think I mean everything's a little bit different, but I think for me there's there's a part really trying to dig deep to understand what don't I know, what don't I understand, who do I need to talk to get a better sense of this, what are the things I need to do myself, roll up your sleeves and do. Like there's something I talk to our team about all the time, right? Is that before I go write some code to solve a problem, I love like actually solving the problem sort of quote unquote manually, right?
Hmm.
Trying to understand like, okay, and sometimes actually to the point where it becomes a little painful to have to do it manually. But I almost want to get to that point where I'm like, okay, this is a little painful, but now I've done it enough times that I really, really know all the edges, right? All the different cases that I have to think about. And then when you build the thing to help automate that or serve a particular need, you're really coming from this point of deep understanding and empathy again. So I think it's about really getting into that mindset of asking questions, and sort of being patient and trying to map out a space and get to the edges,
Yeah.
because a lot of the pain happens when you solve the thing, but for sort of this, mainstream 80% case, but things fall off the edges really quickly, right?
Right.
So as much as you can understand, sort of the full space, the much smoother the experience that you're going to build is.
Right.